welcome to another edition of Issues with Jide. Here we talk about actions and inactions of those who shape our national landscape and how they impact us positively or otherwise. I'm Ibrahim. Today on the show, we'll be having an insight into the Abba Kyari gate. In the course of the program, we'll take your questions as always, but first, subscribe to our YouTube channel and drop your questions in the comment section. I have joining me via Zoom the maestro himself, Babajide Kolade-Otitoju. Thank you so much always for always being there, BKO.
Thank you for doing this with me today.
Great. Well, before we delve into our main topic, let me quickly get your observation of the APC governorship primary in Osun State, especially with the tension that built up before the D-Day.
What's your question?
Yeah, I'm trying to get your opinion about the APC governorship primary in Osun State, especially with the tension that built up before today.
Well, the primary election results have gone just the way I had expected them to go. The incumbent governor, Gboyega, Oyetola, has tremendous goodwill, has tremendous support of the elites in the state, the big political players in the state. An overwhelming majority of them are on his side. And so for a governor who has the structures of the party family in his hands, from ward level to state level, you do not expect him to be defeated in an election like this. So I expected an overwhelming victory, something that you could describe as a landslide, and that's what we are seeing. That's what we are seeing across the state. Lasun Yusuf, as well as Shehu, the candidate of the Minister of Interior, have been defeated resoundingly by the incumbent governor, Gboyega Oyetola, and frankly, it couldn't have gone the other way, because Governor Oyetola is firmly in charge of the structures of the APC in the state. For example, in the House of Assembly, there are 26 individuals, 23 of them are of the APC. Only 2 of these 23 are supporters of the Minister of Interior. The remaining 21 are with the governor. So these are the people who also mobilize their supporters at grassroots level. All the ward ESCO, the state ESCO, the local government ESCO of the party, these are all layers for mobilization of voters. All of those structures are with the governor. It will have been the 8th wonder of the world if the candidate of the Minister of Interior had gone close to winning this election, not even winning. If he had gone close to winning, it would have been the 8th wonder of the world. What we have seen is a resounding win for Gboyega Oyetola. In all the 15 wards of Osogbo, the governor won resoundingly. In Ilesha, where the Rauf Aregbesola calls from, the governor won.
BKO, we lost you momentarily there. What was the last? Are you still talking? Say something. I want to confirm whether you have your audio.
I can hear you.
Great. Yeah, so
Give me your question.
the last thing I heard was that the governor won at Elisha. So that was the last thing I heard. So maybe you said something afterwards.
I said across the board in Elisha, the governor won, including
BKO?
Yes.
All right, great. So let's move to our main topic for today. We'll definitely keep close tabs on the APC governorship primaries, and we've even got some comments here. But then let's get into the brass tack for today's discussion. Security operatives are usually known for their discreet lifestyles, but not Abba Kyari, who appeared to hog publicity. And now he was caught with his hand in the cookie jar. How have you been reading the mood from the public reactions to this Kyari gate?
You know, I'm as disappointed as any Nigerian who had monitored his progress over the years, right from his days here in Lagos at SAS, where he successfully cracked a lot of robbery challenges placed on his path. He successfully surmounted such challenges as head of SAS. And when the IRT, the Inspector General Intelligence Team, you know, which used to be under the supervision of the Inspector General of Police, was set up, he also did a good job, you know, over there. Many criminals were apprehended by him. Many people remember the issue of Evans, the billionaire kidnapper, you know, who was eventually nabbed by Kyari and his men. So he had always been seen as a hero and a potential Inspector General of Police. But clearly, he was a lot more than many of us knew. He was clearly hobnobbing with criminals. I've seen videos of him dancing in parties, surrounded by people of questionable background. So you want to ask yourself, why all of this? And when the hush puppy matter came up, we were just waiting for the police to conclude these investigations and for the Attorney General of the Federation to determine exactly what to do with him. But as is always the case in our country, where we hate the truth so much and we like to cut corners, this investigation went on and on and on to the shame of the police. The police prides itself as an organization that exposes the dirty people within its ranks. But in this case, they kept delaying and delaying. The investigation was taking ages. The information was had to come by. But we were aware that the Police Service Commission was not happy with the outcome of the investigation. And the information we had was that the information we got was that the Police Service Commission recommended a demotion to the rank of Assistant Commissioner of Police because as Deputy Commissioner of Police, he is of similar rank to a Brigadier General. You know, it's of similar rank to a Brigadier General or in the Air Force and Air Commodore. So for somebody who has reached the rank of a general within the police, somebody respected so much and from whom so much was expected, to have been found hobnobbing and accused of taking money from hush puppy.
It was
not what we wanted to hear, but that was what happened. And even the police report of the investigation had shown that they were actually even that money was funneled through by these criminals, Hush Puppies gang, through one of Abba Kyari's brothers. So, you know the way the Americans do their investigation, they will not bring you to court unless they have a prima facie case established against you. Nothing is going to stop Hush Puppies' eventual sentencing because they had done a thorough job on him, and even Hush Puppy knows that it makes no sense to waste the time of the court. So, and if Hush Puppy had mentioned Abba Kyari, we want to believe that the Americans have also validated what Hush Puppy said about Abba Kyari, including even Abba Kyari visiting him in the UAE, you know, and even snapping pictures. It also is really very, very messy. And to cap it all, this happened, and now the NDLEA describes Abba Kyari as a member of an international drug syndicate. I'm extremely demoralized to hear this, because here was a man that I love so much, and I even supported him at the time when the IG wanted to disband the intelligence response team.
Yeah,
I fought against it, and in the end, the IG changed his mind and let the IRT be. So it's terrible to hear this sort of thing, and we just hope that since the Police Service Commission has mandated the police to turn in its report within 2 weeks, the Inspector General of Police has no choice now but to go ahead and have that report released.
right.
And that report should dignify the Nigerian police, should not further damage the image of the police, because any attempt at a cover-up would damage mortally the image of the police. This scandal is enough. No attempt must be made to rig the investigation of Abba Kyari's matter as it concerns Hush Puppy and members of his syndicate.
Right, makes sense. That's one of the reasons why I would like to ask you, concerning this particular issue. A lot of conspiracy theories have been flying around since Kyari got busted for drugs. Do you think this latest development could then impact his possible extradition to the United States to answer for his earlier allegations?
Well, it's all down to the Attorney General of the Federation. It's up to him. The matter will go to court, and the extradition hearing will take place, and he will then be extradited. But what the law says is that if he has a pending matter in our country, pending court matter, that has to be resolved. So if he's jailed, then he has to serve his time in Nigeria before anything like extradition could take place. I guess this is why some people were deceiving themselves that, this is just meant to stop his extradition. It's absolutely foolish to think in this manner. This is a bigger scandal, and he's not the only person involved. There are other policemen involved. There's no way that some policemen would want to put their own careers on the line just to save, just to stop the extradition of a policeman that's already sinking. So when Nigerians come up with these conspiracy theories, I just wonder. Because there are many things you hear and you ask yourself, why do people think it this way? Just like some people who assume that somebody will wet his clothes, and it's at the back that the evidence of wetting will show up when the genitals are in front. And it makes absolutely no sense. So there's no need for these conspiracy theories. Abba Kyari was genuinely involved, really involved in the drug matter, and the NDLEA wants us to believe that it was not even his first. So this has nothing to do with an attempt to stop his extradition. In fact, the police had arrested him since Saturday. The police had put him in detention along with his colleagues since Saturday. So by the time the NDLEA officially declared him wanted,
right,
and they contacted the police, they just handed him over. That time, when they came to lodge the report, they were not expecting that it will be handed over to them.
Okay.
Because they merely came to say, look, hand over this guy, we want him to come and face our investigators, but he has refused to show up. You know? So I think that there's no such thing as trying to block his extradition. And the Attorney General even said that, look, with the US, we have all kinds of collaborations and all that. I don't think Nigeria will willfully, because of a police officer, damage his relationship with America.
Okay, BKO, let me come in here. Among other recognitions and awards, the Maiduguri-born officer was in, was in the House of Representatives for his exceptional work in the fight against criminality in Nigeria. He had earlier bagged the Presidential Medal for Courage in April 2016 and was declared the 2018 Africa's Best Detective. Even a street in his hometown of Maiduguri was also named in his honor. In spite of this, some have called on the National Assembly and others to withdraw these awards from Abba Kyari. Do you have the same thoughts?
No. He's done a lot of work, a lot of good things, and one negative thing cannot totally unhinge all of the good things that he has done. He's done a lot of investigative work for which we saw the results. So you can, and he was honored. He was honored for the good work that he had done. You can withdraw all of the awards that were genuinely given to him, that were given to him for the good work that he did. Apart from doing those good things, we have now discovered that he is not as clean as we thought he was. But that does not take away the good things that he had done. We could spend many editions of this program reviewing some of the very good things that he had done as an investigative officer. It definitely was the star of the police. So I do not subscribe to the idea of withdrawing awards that had been given him. When Baba Fashoranti's daughter was killed by criminal headsmen in Ondo State, it was this same Abba Kyari and his team that investigated that attack and successfully arrested those who carried out the attack. So no one can undo the good things that he has done. And the reward for the good things that he has done needs to, that the reward that he received for the good things that he had done need to remain with him.
Yeah, BKO,
the reward for the terrible thing that he has done, the reward for criminal actions that he has taken, he should also get.
Okay, so look at it this way.
You get the point that I'm making?
Yeah, I get the point. But can we also look at it this way, since he himself has been immersed in sordid tales and revelation, does this put to question some of the achievements or exploits he has made in busting crimes and testifying against them in the court of law? Because it is said that he who must come to equity must do so with clean hands.
Again, you can't tell me, for example, that Wadume, the kidnapper who kidnapped someone and collected 125 million from that person and got arrested by IRT. You can't tell me that he did not commit the offense. He committed the offense. They looked for him.
All right.
They got hold of him. Some soldiers in Taraba State forcefully freed him. He ran to Kano. The IRT arrested him in Kano. This is a well-known criminal. A well-known criminal who killed in the process of committing crime. We cannot say that this was his good name, the past, are no longer criminals. I mean, there's no logic in that. People fall by the wayside in the course of doing their work, but the good things that they did will remain. That's why the Yorubas will sing the song, the good things that you do, they are the things that remain in our hearts that people will talk about.
Right.
I have good memories of Abba Kyari's good work, but I'm ashamed of the negative things that I've now heard that he was very much involved in. But the good things that he had done
will definitely remain.
They can't be blotted out of history.
All right, so
that's not going to happen. The hardened criminals that he arrested and kept them locked away, people will be happy that those guys are no longer terrifying them. Look at the big-time kidnapper in the southeast, the one who got into a courtroom to free his men. Abba Kyari's people eventually rearrested him. And he was killed in the process.
All right, BKO, I need to start
taking questions. There are many big-time criminals. That these guys succeeded in apprehending. We thank him for all of that.
Yes.
But for the things that we now had that he has done, the same way that he brought people to justice, the same way that he got people arrested and put them on trial, he too should be ready to face trial. It's as simple as that.
Right. So those who know the inside workings of the police say that the system has, a matter of factly, shown gratitude to Abba Kyari for his exploits and good work in the past. Some weighted promotions which have catapulted him 2 ranks and beyond his peers. But what could have made him betray this special privilege? As a matter of fact, what does this say about the people in this law enforcement business?
If he got accelerated promotion on account of his exploits, I do not quarrel with that, because the work that he did earlier in his career stand out. So it's a normal thing for people to get double promotion and all that. After all, the late tank commander, Abu Ali, got accelerated promotion ahead of his peers in the army. And he was not even the only person who got accelerated promotion at that time. So if you got accelerated promotion for the high profile cases that he cracked, so be it. Let's not dwell on get things that he has done. They remain. And No one can take away the good things that he has done. But what we do not want to see is a situation in which we do not want him punished just because of the many good things that I did in the past. No, no. You may actually be the people's hero, but the day you go against the law of the land, then the long arm of the law must get hold of you. Abba Kyari has breached the confidence that the Nigerian people reposed in him. He has put the police to shame, and he deserves his time in a court of law.
BKO, yeah. Let me try to take a question from Chidozie Alakwe. Is that you will say, oh no, okay, I don't think I'm going to have to take that one. This is talking about IPOP, but that is not the focus for today. Fabian Akeze says, BKO, yes. I strongly disagree with you. The man never had character. Would you celebrate a governor for building infrastructure during his tenure, but stole public funds? Should we ignore his wrong deeds?
Nobody is saying ignore. The problem with our people is we do not, when we listen, because we have made up our minds the way to look at an issue. We don't even try to understand what someone is saying. I'm not saying ignore. I just said that the good things that he has done, we are grateful.
Yeah.
Now, for the bad things that he has done, he must have his day in court. He must answer for it. That makes it clear that I want him to face the long arm of the law for what he has done. But what he did in the past, you can't take that away. We are a nation that the moment you offend people, all the good things that you have done for them, they are forgotten. No, that's not right. If in a particular community, a particular cultist was killing people, every day was killing people, and someone came, a police officer came, took out that cultist, and the community now has peace, will you say that they should bring back that cultist because you are not happy with the policeman, or because the policeman has now done some things that you do not like, you will wish that the good thing that he did were blotted out of history? No, that's not going to happen. So those who rewarded him, gave him awards for bravery, fine. They did that at that time to reward him for the things that he did that they can see. Those people now will not say, oh, because they honored him back then, this time around that he deserves to go and face justice, that he should not be made to face justice. No, that's not what we are saying.
Okay,
we are saying that he had dealt with criminals in the past. He had arrested kidnappers in the past in a manner that makes people happy. If you go to Taraba now, people are happier because even the rate of crime is going down. The IRT went there to do some work. I've seen IRT men go to Kaduna, and at least 4 of them were killed in an operation.
Yeah.
I mean, these people, they were working for their country.
Yeah, BKO.
We can't now say that all of the work that IRT had done, that there was nothing good that they did, or there was nothing good that Abba Kyari did, just because he has now been found to be dirty or to have criminal tendencies. No, there were at least some good things that he did, and for those good things that he did, we can't wish away those good things that he did, no matter how we try.
Right.
That's the point that I'm making.
Right.
I'm just being objective.
That's clear.
This is the way I am.
That's clear. That's clear. Jide says, BKO, don't you think the president should prosecute Abba Kyari via the Office of the Attorney General to serve as an example to those who doubt his fight against corruption?
Well, I still think that they should let him face trial for his involvement in drug business. This has not to do with the Office of the Attorney General. The NDLEA will file charges. I want to see the NDLEA file charges. Then, of course, his involvement with Hush Puppy. If I have my way, I will advise the Attorney General to hand him over to the Americans. Despite the fact that he has a case to answer here, if I have my way, I would convince the Attorney General to hand him over to the Americans, let him go and face charges over there. After all, Ibori went to jail abroad, he's back in his country. So because that matter came before this one, if I have my way, I will simply hand him over to the Americans, let him go and serve time over there.
Right, that makes sense. I think we have to put Abba Kyari's topic or the issue to rest, so that we revisit what we discussed earlier before we delve into the issue of Abba Kyari. A question came in when you started. Can you hear me, BKO? At the beginning of the show, the Osun election. I think I'm fumbling for the question, but the question is, if this crisis between the incumbent governor and the former governor, if it persists, if it continues, will it not affect the overall gubernatorial election when they go to the polls?
It will make the election more difficult for the governor, but the governor will still win the election. You know why I'm so convinced?
Why?
The reason I'm so convinced is because when you see in Osun politics, the factor of Omishore is a very, very strong one. If the governor has the support of Ife, for example, which had not always been the case. The APC had always struggled in Ife. Because with Omishore in Ife, Omishore will always win. But Omishore is right now on the side of the governor. So the quantum of votes from Ife will certainly go to Governor Oyetola, which will be the difference maker in the election. I don't think the PDP is strong enough to stop Oyetola from being re-elected. As we have seen with the way this election went, the other faction in the APC is simply not strong enough. The outcome of this primary election has shown that faction is not strong enough. They can't stop the governor from being re-elected. This is something that I'm confident about. They can't stop the governor from being re-elected.
All right.
He has a lot going for him. He has a lot going for him, and many of the big shots in the state, many of the heavy hitters politically are on his side. The Omidirons of this world, the Laoye Ponle or Laoye Ponle, formerly Laoye Tomori, the former deputy governor. You know, so many people.
Right.
Famurewa, you know, in that's the two-time House of Reps member. So he has a lot going for him, and even the civil servant, because he's paying their salary regularly, unlike what we had before. So there are many things going for that gentleman governor, and I see him being re-elected. Don't also forget the incumbency factor is strong.
It's very strong.
Yeah. It will be more difficult, but it will still not stop. I mean, this crisis will make it more difficult, but it will still not stop Oyetola from being re-elected. This is the fact. This is what will happen.
All right, that's the question I asked. The last question I asked that you gave this answer to was asked by Fabian Akeze. I'm just crediting the question to him. Thank you very kindly, BKO. That's our show for today's edition of Issues with Jide. We'll always say special thanks to you, Babajide Kolade-Otitoju, for those insightful analyses as always.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you to our audience for joining us on every edition. You can see the program again anytime by subscribing to our YouTube channel, TVC News. Click on the subscribe button to get the latest information. On behalf of the team, I'm Ibrahim. See you again next edition. Bye for now.